Fellas, let's talk about Shannon Sharpe. Signed a big multi-year extension with ESPN. Congratulations to Shannon Sharpe. I'm reading an article here from Sports Illustrated's .com from Kyle T. Mosley. It says it right here. Sorry. Today, ESPN announced that HBCU and NFL legend had signed a multi-year contract to increase his role and visibility on First Take, which also features Stephen A. Smith and host Molly Karam. Smith initially brought Sharpe as one of the greatest regular contributors in August of 2023. This is a statement from David Roberts, who is the ESPN's head of event and studio production. Shannon Sharpe has been an incredible addition to the First Take team, enhancing the show's dynamic with his engaging presence and insightful commentary. Shannon's chemistry with Stephen A. Smith has elevated our debates and been another key reason First Take is the premier destination for morning sports discussion. Um, First and foremost, like I said, man, congratulations to Shannon Sharpe. He's doing great things. And obviously we know the work he's doing with Nightcap. And of course, how can we not forget Club Shay Shay, especially that interview he did in the beginning of the season with Cat Williams, which broke the internet. It was trending. Everyone was talking about it on social media. I mean, him going after a lot of comedians, Martin Lawrence, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, Tiffany Haddish, so much more. It goes to show you, in my opinion, two things could be true. I have to give credit to Skip Bayless because Skip Bayless did give Shannon Sharpe the opportunity to go on Undisputed FS1. Because before, Shannon Sharpe was known for the NFL on CBS, which I liked him a lot, especially the job that he did. And of course, the Hall of Fame football player. I mean, one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. Won 3 Super Bowls, two with the Denver Broncos, one with the Baltimore Ravens. It goes to show you two things could be true. Yes, Skip Bayless definitely gave Shannon Sharpe an opportunity on Undisputed, and they were doing their thing on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon. But it also goes to show you that it does not take away who Shannon Sharpe is and what he has accomplished. It just means that somebody else along the way deserves as much credit as he does. And unequivocally, if you look at the ratings between First Take and Undisputed, not even close. I hate to say this, but Undisputed Skip Bayless, he's on his last leg. Because to think that you can get any other guy, whether Keyshawn Johnson, Paul Pierce, even Michael Irvin, and I like Michael Irvin. I love the playmaker. Did a good job for ESPN as well. Doesn't matter who you bring. They are not Shannon Sharpe. He's charismatic, funny. Obviously, he from the Georgia area. Y'all would know better than most. A lot of people compare my man Champ to Shannon Sharpe. I see it all the time on the comment section below. But that's just that Southern humor, that Georgia humor, that Southern hospitality. Shannon Sharpe, man, is just phenomenal. I'm happy with the success that he is doing, and I think he's only going to go and go. I think Stephen A. Smith, him picking him up, Shannon Sharpe has thanked Stephen A. Smith for giving him the opportunity, but also Stephen A. Smith knew it's about competition. We still ESPN. We still trying to be number one, and we want to go even further and further and further. And it's great that his role on First Take is increased because a couple of months, football season, and
Yeah.
of course I want to hear the debates between him and Dan Orlowski, Marcus Spears, Ryan Clark, Mina Kimes, Kimberly Martin, Mike Tannenbaum. Doesn't matter who from ESPN covering football. I just want to see Shannon Sharpe because of his knowledge, his insight, and I just think, man, he has so much flair, man. And I think what he's doing right now, when you think of one of the hottest commodities in the sports media, you got to talk about him. I love me some Charles Barkley. I like Mike Wilbon, of course, from PTI. Pardon the interruption on ESPN. There are a lot of great guys. But Shannon Sharpe is definitely up there as well as far as the hottest commodities in sports media. So, what are your thoughts about Shannon Sharpe with the multi-year extension with ESPN?
I'll kick it off this time.
Go ahead,
Um,
BRF.
I'm happy for him. He deserves it. I mean, seeing his growth, like early, like even before Undisputed, like when he was starting to get on TV, like he started on ESPN first. He started on ESPN first, and like just seeing him and just kind of become what he is today. I mean, how can you not be happy? How can you not be happy for a guy like that, man? And just everything that he's doing, I'm proud of him. I'm happy for his success. I wish him more. I wish him all the success in the world because let me tell you something. He is one of my he is one of my favorite guys to watch, whether it's on TV, whether it's on YouTube with Nightcap, especially Club Shay Shay. I love Club Shay Shay. I mean, I've even before the Cat Williams episode, I was a fan of Club Shay Shay, but the Cat Williams episode, it was just like that was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That I mean, because me being a big Cat Williams fan as I am, just watching that, I think my mouth dropped about 10 minutes in, and it just stayed locked. Like the rest of that episode, it stayed locked. The stuff that was coming out that man mouth, he was talking about, and I'm just like, like I was like shocked about it at first, but then I got to thinking about it. And I'm like, you know what? It's Cat Williams. I'm kind of not surprised this is coming out of his mouth. So it was must see. It was must see. I think that video had done like millions of views in like hours. I mean, it didn't break the internet; it shattered it. I mean, it dismantled the internet. That was a sight. That was a sight to behold. But you got to have two to tango. And Shannon Sharp was the one kind of he that is one of those situations where it's like if you ask the right questions, you will get the right answers. And Shannon Sharp was not missing with those with those questions. He was not missing a beat. So the man has leaps and bounds gotten better. And just seeing him on it, I can't wait for football season because I just know he gonna cook some people with his knowledge and his intellect and just his insight in the game. I know he gonna cook some folks, and I can't wait for it. I'm here for it. I'm ready for it. So shout out to Shannon. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to Sterling because you know his brother got to be like uber proud of him, seeing him become what he is, becoming basically the newest like conglomerate when it comes to like sports media. What he's doing right now is so it's just like you can't feel nothing but happiness for this dude. So it is well deserved. I hope eventually he gets his own show. Like I said, I'm talking about put like how they say in wrestling, push him to the moon. Push this man to the moon. Push him to the moon. He deserves every good thing he gets. Push that brother to the moon. That man gonna make ESPN loads and loads and loads of bread. Just straight up. Just get that man whatever he want and let him do his thing and let him just succeed. Cause that's what Shannon Sharp's gonna do. He's too charismatic. He's too smart. He knows what he's doing in front of the camera. He deserves every penny of that contract.
Champ.
Man, I will say this, man. Granted, I will say this. Number one, always be grateful for the people that give you opportunities. Always. But the mistake I think that Skip made was, not capitalizing on that. Because the thing is, when you have an asset like that, you have to take care of it. And you can't do it by offending people on live television.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
and that was, I think, the breaking point of that relationship. Because the thing is, I think we would have heard of him. I mean, a lot of us from down south, I saw Shannon Sharpe on ESPN. I saw Shannon Sharpe on CBS when he was taking up for Ray Lewis when Boomer Esiason had a lot of things to say about Ray Lewis in his last game. We saw him before. So, whether or not he would have been there with Skip, it was his destiny anyway. But hey, shout out to him for giving him shout out to Skip for giving him his props and giving him his big break. But at the same time, you got to take care of your best asset, because in reality, Skip Bayless was the most polarizing figure in sports. I mean, and look, that just didn't start. It went all the way back to the Chicago Bulls days. If you go back to a certain interview with him and Deion Sanders, he put something in his book about Troy Aikman. We won't say what it is on the air, but you know what I'm talking about. So he had something to say about Troy Aikman. And Deion Sanders literally went on live TV and checked him on live television. It's like, what gives you the right to say that about my teammate, about something that you have yet to prove? It's not even proven, and you writing that in your book, you're foul for that. So he was the most polarizing figure in sports long before he got exposed on national television for disrespecting Shannon Sharpe. He was already a polarizing figure. Not to mention, some of the run-ins he had with Richard Sherman prior to Undisputed as well. So I was always wondering how that was going to work out as well. So, hey, in the great words of a good job to Shannon Sharpe, in the great words of Jay-Z, I heard folks say they made Hove. Make Hove say, okay, so make another Hove. So, hey, you failed in making another one. So, Skip, you on your way up out of there. You could not live with your own failure, but now you can't come back to me. Thanos, by the way. So, you have to take care of your greatest asset. Shannon Sharpe deserves every bit of it. I wish, and I say this wholeheartedly, I wish that people would be happy for him instead of making him a polarizing figure. It seems like the bigger you get, it seems like when you're on a level playing field, when you're the underdog, you're lovable and everybody loves everything about you. But it seems like as you start ascending, people start saying everything that they can in order to discredit you. I don't know if that's just me or not. It seems like when he was on Undisputed and, he was coming up and, he was Uncle Shannon, the Miles and the Yak and all of that, the most lovable guy in the universe. But as he came up, it's just like, okay, where's all this animosity coming from everybody? It's like everything he's saying is being critiqued and taken out of context all of a sudden. I don't know if that's just me or not, but it feels that way.
I think, Champ, jealousy. A lot of people are just jealous because of who Shannon Sharpe, where he came from, and for him to be in the position where he is now. I think jealousy and look, I really didn't want to bring this up, but I must. We really, as a people, we should just take the time to just acknowledge and appreciate what we have, because once it's gone, it's gonna be hard to replicate. You won't see anything like this again. So you might as well enjoy it for now. And speaking of moving on, champ, you know, and also Bad Boys. I know I'm going off subject, but Bad Boys, the new movie that came out with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Shout
Yeah.
out to both of them. Did well, more than well, over 100 million. I think over $100 million in the first
Yeah.
week or so.
Yeah.
And Rob Schneider obviously said a lot of derogatory things about Will Smith, calling him a liar and a fraud, and Stephen A. Smith bringing up the Oscars incident. Look, man, all I'm going to say regarding the Oscars incident, and I've said before, Will Smith, what he did was wrong. It was low, and it was inexcusable what he did to Chris Rock. But at the same time, should that overshadow all of his work? Should that
No.
take away everything what he's accomplished because of that one horrible moment? Should we just throw that aside? And look, Shannon Sharpe, is he perfect? No, he's not perfect. He's had some mistakes with TV and stuff like that, but still, just enjoy it for now. And to your point, Champ, you brought up Skip. That's when I knew I don't see these two coexisting. After accusing Shannon Sharpe of being jealous of Tom Brady, wait a minute, Shannon Sharpe
Oh,
is an 8-time Pro Bowler. I'm
that
a
was
3-time Super
definitely
Bowl champion. I'm in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm making people know me. I'm knowledgeable. I'm articulate. I'm making money than I ever imagined or ever imagined or ever thought I could ever make. And you going as far as accusing someone of being jealous, and then the tweet about Damar Hamlin. Why do
Yes.
you think Shannon Sharpe decided to take a leave of absence, and then while he was giving his monologue, Skip interrupted him? That's when I kind of knew that these two can't coexist, and we're gonna have to see which one was gonna be better without the other. I knew Shannon was gonna be fine because at the end of the day, the personality and all the things that you're seeing right now, as with Skip Bayless, man, you already a polarizing figure before. You lose a commodity like Shannon. Normally, it's not easy to replace a guy like Shannon. To your point, Chip, you got to capitalize on the asset that you have.
Yes, indeed.
And if you're not going to get Shannon, who else are you going to find that's better?
And like I said, we've seen a lot of guys, you try to bring in a lot of guys to replace him at a certain point, but it doesn't have that same watchable effect. I mean, Shannon Sharpe was one of the most relatable guys that you will ever see on TV. And the reason why we start calling him Uncle Shannon, because he's the most, you can see, we've all seen that uncle sit around here, smoke Black and Miles. We've all seen him, drink cognac. And we've seen him wear the do-rag. We've seen him, seen him do a lot of things, and, he's a lot, like I said, in order to succeed in any business, first and foremost, you have to be likable. That's the main thing. People don't understand the ability of being likable. If you are unlikable and difficult to deal with, yeah, people will put up with you for a certain period of time, but after a while, they're gonna discard you in a minute. You have to be likable, and I think that's the factor that Shannon Sharpe brought to Undisputed. It was a likable show. And it was on a network where a lot of their shows wasn't really likable. When you think about the show with Jason Whitlock, do you really want to look at that show? No, I really don't want to look at that. When you think about the show with
he, as soon as you said Jason Whitlock, boy, he turned.
PSP treat Jason Whitlock like the plague.
We
But
went from a full course meal to all of a sudden peanuts from Shannon Sharpe to Jason Whitlock.
yeah,
I'm sorry, I digress.
it's all good. I mean, PSP treat Jason Whitlock like he the plague. But man, to go for, I mean, it was not a lot of shows. That was your flagship show. Now another show that you could say, what's the word? With I think it's What's the Word with Joy, and with those guys, that's a likable show. But not a lot of people like Colin Cowherd. He's, depending on who you are, he's not everybody's cup of tea. So the most likable show that you had on FS1 outside of the Sunday Crew was Undisputed. So for them to just do that and you to break apart that show because of misunderstandings and disrespect is kind of like crazy. Like I said, that was one of the most likable shows on there. Like I said, a lot of people, when you're talking casually, I will say casually, because, believe it or not, the casual fan matters. People talk about casual, but the casual fan matters because, hey, they the ones tuning in, even they the ones tuning in and bringing a lot of revenue. Let's just get that out of the way. But when the casual fan talks in the barbershop, in the beauty shops, in the malls, we wasn't talking about the Herd with Colin Cowherd. We wasn't talking about What's the Word. We wasn't talking about a lot of the other shows outside of Sunday football on Fox. We was talking about, hey man, did you watch Undisputed? what happened on Undisputed Today on YouTube, what happened on Undisputed Today. You know, guys on third shift want to know what happened to Undisputed. Waking up in the middle of the day after they done their shift to stay up just to watch Undisputed. So for them to lose that show was not only a big blow to Skip Bayless, but you know, to that network as well. Because guess what? Even though you may not have watched Colin Cowherd and some of those other shows frequently, if Undisputed was on and it just so happened to go off, he was like, okay, I might as well just sit here and watch and see what they're going to say to get a different opinion. When you lose a flagship show like that or an asset like that, it takes attention away from other shows as well. So, you know, I think Skip should have considered that before he started really, you know, wilding like he did. Because, you know, you're not only affecting yourself, you're affecting the network. Because, you know, you might as well just, when you lose a Shannon Sharpe, you might as well give your audience a ticket to the competitor's parking lot. Because guess what? They're going to go wherever this commodity goes. So, hey, shout out to Shannon Sharpe. You deserve every bit of it, from all the adversity at CBS to everything. You know, you deserve it. And I can't wait to see more, man. This is a special time. This is a special time, man. And, you know, hey, you know, I can't wait to see PSP get a contract with ESPN, man. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be special.
I don't know if ESPN wants to see me. I don't know about that, but if there's one, I'm cool with the Sports PSP pod. And listen, any other pods that they want me to come on and for me to collaborate, hey, I got no problem. My funny part with the nightcap, as BRF mentioned, I'm sorry, I must admit this. We won't go any further. Miss Nasty B. Miss Nasty B. Yeah, I don't need to go any further, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about with Miss Nasty B.
Woo!
All I'm gonna say is no. Yeah, no. All I'm gonna say is I give my man props for speaking his mind, and I leave it at that.
Lord forgive me for what I'm about to do.
Boy, yes.
Yeah. But anyway, let's move on.